Okay, I cut off a 3-foot strip of this drip edge that I had broke up out at the place where I bought the sheet metal, a place called Metal Mart. Just because I had to make 4 sticks of this. It wasn't bad. It was they had a slitter so they could make these long runs. If I have to cut a long piece like this, I have to do it with a pair of straight bill shears, and that's no fun. So that's why you see the shape it's in. I'm going to convert this into something that's even. Thank you, loud redneck pickup. I'm going to convert this into something that's even more rigid, and I'm thinking about using it for frame reinforcement on the back of the oven, where the door is and such, because I've got a hole in the back of the oven and I need to make a good sturdy rectangle back there to accept the door. So that's what you're about to see. I'm going to fold this over and stiffen this thing up considerably. Okay, I can tell these YouTube clips are about to get extremely long. Anyway, I'm going to show you a sheet metal trick about folding sheet metal when I was talking last night. That folded piece of sheet metal right there has a great deal of strength because of the fold itself as well as the double thickness. Now what I'm about to do is I'm going to notch along this line a 1/2 inch deep. There's the fold on one side of the oven, and there's the fold on the other side of the oven. Both the inner and the outer shells have the same features, which is one's a smaller version of the other, slightly different version of the other. But they both have this in common. So I'm going to cut a relief notch in this with 10 snips, then fold this over a 1/2 inch to stiffen the fronts and the backs of the oven, so that I will gain that rigidity that I just showed you in that scrap piece that Tony folded yesterday. So that's what we're doing next. Okay, here's the sheet metal brake and the Petco in action. I've got my 1/2 inch turn with the little notches in it clamped in. And you grab over here by this counterbalance, but you have to watch. I got hit in the head in high school by one of these things, by the way. You have to watch what you're doing with these, because the other end moves. So if someone's standing down there, you can hurt them. But you fold this thing all the way up like that. And that just took that piece of metal and bent it way past a 90. And then you lift the jaws of this thing open and clamp it down, and it folds it on over. And that's how you make a flat 180 turn and a fold over. So I've got 4 of those to make on my 2 big pieces of steel. And this is the inside of the oven, boys and girls. This is where the food will sit. This is the front right here. Glass glazing here. Small top, glass ends right here. Got a piece of tape to keep it from flopping everywhere. Did a double fold on the outside edges. Did a cross fold on the base, so it has a little stiffness to it. It's not just a floppy piece of metal. That's going to get fixed somehow. I'm not quite sure I'm going to solve that problem yet. But as you can see, this is the oven. The back door will be here. You'll be reaching into an oven this big, of which I'm going to build some trays that run on a little gimbal that hang in pins coming off this wall. So I'll have a tray up front, a tray here, and a hanging tray right here, and maybe another tray up here, if I'm clever. I plan to utilize every cubic foot of this thing as I can. So it's a pretty good little box. I could cook me a couple of turkeys in this thing. Let's see, I probably could cook, I bet I could cook 8 turkeys in this thing. If I had one giant black pot, I could. Maybe that's
I want to rate these things.
Well, that's an 8 turkey cooker you got right there. Now, that's going to cost you a little more than a 4 turkey cooker.